We have a lot of good technical information here at the ATSG Tech Center with the help of Pete Lubin and Wayne Colonna.
We begin today's seminar in the white manual, followed by the red, and finishing the day in the blue manual. So get your white manual and go to page 5, where you can follow along with Gerald Campbell, who will take you through some information about GM's 5L40E. He's outside with a 2004 Cadillac CTS. Gerald?
At the start of production for some 99 models, BMW introduced a new 5-speed automatic transmission, designed and manufactured by General Motors Powertrain Division in Strasbourg, France.
This new policy covers a lot. I'm an employee. What are the most important things I need to know?
I'm glad you asked that. Let's look at each part of the policy and see what it really means to you as a Royal Caribbean or celebrity employee. Harassment can also be actions. Whether it's words or actions, harassment always makes it difficult or impossible for other employees to do their work. Sexual harassment is a type of harassment. It is when employees or managers bring sex into the workplace, making other employees very uncomfortable. Let's look at some examples of sexual harassment.
Hey.
Hi.
You really look sexy in that uniform. I wonder what you look like under the uniform.
Never make any sexual comments during work. It might not bother some employees, but it could bother other employees. Sexual harassment doesn't have to be words. It can also be actions. Bringing sexual photos, calendars, or magazines to work is disrespectful to other employees. It is also disrespectful to make sexual gestures around other employees.
You've been talking about things we can't do according to the new policy. It sounds pretty scary. What can we still do? I can't stop talking to people.
This policy isn't meant to scare you. The goal of this policy is to protect you, other employees, and guests from being harassed on the job. As long as you show respect to other employees, you are not harassing them. This means you can still work closely with people of the opposite sex. Date other employees as long as both of you agree to the relationship. Tell jokes and have fun at work. The scene you're about to watch shows an example of an employee caught in an uncomfortable situation with a guest. Pretend that you are the employee in this scene. As you watch, ask yourself, what would I do in this situation?
Hey, I've been watching you all afternoon. You're very attractive. Why don't you show me to your cabin when you get off your shift?
I'm very flattered, but it's against our policy.
Well, then how about you come into my cabin?
Now let's see a good way to handle that situation while showing respect to the guest.
Hey, I've been watching you all afternoon. You're very attractive. Why don't you show me to your cabin when you get off your shift?
I'm very flattered, but it's against our policy.
Well, then how about you come into my cabin?
You're a very nice woman, but we're not allowed to have any type of relationship with guests from the ship. I could lose my job. You wouldn't want that to happen, would you?
We're all in the service business here, so it's your responsibility to present a professional image when you're on duty. And even when you're off duty, you're still on board. So be considerate of each other and keep yourself and your space looking and smelling clean. Working on a ship keeps us all very busy, and most of us work 7-day weeks. I know I do. So sometimes we don't get as much sleep as we should, and you may feel like you're too tired to even think about exercise or proper nutrition. But the bottom line is that if you have to take care of yourself, both physically and emotionally, so if that means skipping an evening in the crew lounge or shore leave to catch up on your sleep, then do it. You'll be amazed at what a little extra sleep will do for you. You'll feel better about yourself, your work will improve, and it'll seem easier. So much of the responsibility for maintaining a clean, healthy, safe, and respectful environment is yours. If you see a fellow crew member doing something wrong, like throwing a cigarette butt in a garbage can, say something diplomatically. They're putting your life in danger. Or if you have a cabin mate who does not shower and keeps the cabin a mess, say something diplomatically. It's your home too. As I've said many times during these videos, your eyes, ears, and common sense are the best tools we have for maintaining a clean, healthy, and safe ship for us all. Please, do your part.
How do people get Norwalk virus?
People usually get the virus by contact with contaminated surfaces or by contact with people who are infected with the virus. A likely source could be a sick food handler who may not wash their hands before preparing or serving food.
The crew members of Royal Caribbean International and Celebrity Cruises fleet-wide do an excellent job of following U.S. public health guidelines. However, we do have an alert system to direct us on how to handle the Norwalk virus should an outbreak occur on board or the threat of an outbreak is present in ports of call. Green condition is our normal, high-quality operating standards. Yellow condition can be triggered in two ways. First, if the ship is calling in ports where the virus is known to be active on shore, or other ships. And second, at the very first signs of either guests and our crew members becoming ill. Red condition is for ships that are experiencing increasing occurrences of the Norwalk virus. Every crew member must strictly follow our outbreak prevention procedures set by our company.
This pool is about 20,000 gallons. Which model should I use?
Well, this pool will use an LM3-24. Remember, the model number indicates the grams per hour production.
Now this looks like the average size pool pad.
Yeah, you've got your pump, your filter, your return line. We actually have more than enough space to install this salt chlorinator cell.
Great, because many pool pads I deal with are much smaller than this.
Yeah, and in those cases, you'll be really glad you're installing a Zodiac system because it needs a lot less space than most other saltwater chlorinators. Let me show you why. The cell is mounted as the last piece of pool equipment on the pool return line. It's mounted level, horizontal, ports down to create a safety loop. There's a specific inlet and outlet. Unlike most other saltwater chlorinators, the LM3 series has an internal flow sensor, which eliminates the need for an external flow switch. So all you need is about 14 inches of space on your pool pad. That's it.
What's the clear bubble on the end for?
That's the power bubble. This lets the homeowner or service person see the chlorine production and if there's scale buildup.
Is this 220 volts?
Yes, the power pack hardwires to 220 volts. Zodiac also offers a dual voltage unit, which is convertible to 110 or 220. There's a microprocessor in the power pack, so it remembers the output setting, polarity reversal time, and the superchlorinate function time. And, unlike previous models, the LM3 can interface with a variety of controllers. The power pack can either be hung on the wall by the cover or mounted on the wall by the chassis. Once the power pack is mounted, we can start wiring it to the controller. If this was a basic timer, the LM3 would wire to the load side along with the pool pump so that both the pool pump and chlorinator come on and go off together. Always turn the main power off. When using a controller, we hardwire the power pack to the load side of the pool pump relay, like Rick did here. This way the chlorinator will only run when the pool pump is on.
Are there other ways to wire the LM3 to a controller?
Yes, in pool spa combos, the LM3 can be wired to the load side of an auxiliary relay, which is powered from the pool pump relay. This allows staggered run times of the chlorinator. But wiring to the pool pump relay is the preferred method. The LM3 interfaces with the Pentair IntelliTouch, the Jandy Aqualink K and L models, and the Polaris EOS controller. If you're using any other type of controller, then it will only turn the LM3 on and off. You would wire the LM3 series to the load side of the pool pump relay so the chlorinator comes on and off with the pool pump. Next, follow the instructions on page 10 and 11 in the manual and connect the 4-strand communication wire to the LM3. The other end of the 4-strand wire will connect to the controller per their instructions. Once that connection is made, power up the controller and turn on the pool pump relay. To interface the two units, follow the instructions on pages 16 and 17. Press and hold the hidden polarity switch for 20 seconds. The LM3 will begin reversing polarity every 5 seconds during that time. After 20 seconds, the superchlorinate light will begin to flash. Simply release the polarity switch when the flash code matches the type of controller being used. The controller is now operating the power pack. The buttons on the LM3 power pack won't function, but the lights will continue to operate. The LM3 output setting, runtime, and superchlorinate function will be adjusted at the remote of the touchpad.
This really is an easy installation.
The Zodiac system is one of the easiest systems to install, and it's tested and approved to UL 1081 safety standards. But you still want to make sure it's installed properly, so read through the manual and make sure to tell your installers to give the manual to the homeowner so they can understand how to operate the LM3.
That'll help reduce callbacks.